the Steam Deck Neo Next OneXplayer Mini. Let's talk. I'm Rio Gion and welcome to the channel. So when I was watching videos on people reviewing the Steam Deck, I was hyped because I was on the verge of getting the Odin, but then I realized that I pretty much have the Odin more or less with my current setup. But the idea of a 600-ish device with the capability to play PC games on the go was something that honestly seems like a dream until now. So the more I watched the Steam Deck, the more I fell in love with the idea of having a portable PC to play games on the go. At one time, I actually really thought about getting the Switch to play Nintendo games, but the more I think about it, the less I wanted the Switch. I like the idea of playing Nintendo games because as a little kid growing up, I had 3 Nintendo products, Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy SP, if that counts, and the DS Lite, of which I still have the DS today, although it's collecting dust. The system is still there, so the idea of the Switch really interests me. Like, when I got the Switch, I thought about playing games like Skyrim, The Witcher 3, Saints Row, and the more I think about getting the Switch, the more I realize I really wanted the Switch to play PC games. So one fateful day, I stumbled upon a video of someone reviewing a GPD Win product. My mind was blown. I believe it was the Win 2 or something like that, when it was a clamshell shaped design. They were playing PC games on the device and that was freaking awesome. But as time passed, I stumbled upon the Aya Neo, and that form factor just makes sense in my book because at least on the video, it looked like a giant Game Boy that happened to play PC games. So needless to say, I was hooked. But at the time when I found out, I already have the Fold 3, and my reason for getting a Fold 3 was simply because I wanted a folding phone, and getting that big screen on the go and have it be small when I don't need it was an awesome idea. So as excited as I was about the Aya Neo, my financial situation got in the way. As an adult, I have to balance between paying bills, managing assets, and of course the fun money that's used for this channel. As much as I wanted to buy something like the Aya Neo in a drop of a hat, I would be behind on my financial goal, and I don't want to be behind on my financial goal because I figured it's probably more important that I survive to enjoy the finer things in life rather than plunge to the depths of debt. So I passed on the Aya Neo. Then the OneXplayer came out, and that was a pretty cool idea, but ultimately, from watching the videos, I do not think the specs matched the Aya Neo, and the capability of the OneXplayer wasn't as good, at least from watching videos. Now we have the Aya Neo next. The OneXplayer Mini, the new challenger, is the Steam Deck, has arrived. If you're in the market for a handheld gaming PC, wow, what a great time to be alive. Because there are so many choices now. Since I stalled enough time, let's jump to the Steam Deck. For the price, the Steam Deck demolished the competition without a doubt because at the highest end, the Steam Deck is half as much as the base Aya Neo Next, and I believe the OneXplayer Mini as well. But I'm sure the comment section down below will be more than happy to correct me. So purely based on performance, you have to be a moron not to get the Steam Deck. Am I right? Well, yes, I am right. As long as you're happy to be within the Steam store, you'll be fine. However, because the Steam Deck is a PC, Valve is pretty cool when it comes to the write and repair and all of that good stuff. I really want to know how easy it would be to sideload Windows. Let's say if I want to play games from GOG or Good Old Games, as they would say it, how easy it would be to put games on a USB stick or a micro SD and then install it into the Steam Deck. and have the game just work without jumping through hoops. That is my biggest concern for the Steam Deck if I were to buy it. I know from watching videos, the Aya Neo is basically a Windows PC on a handheld, so I'm pretty sure it would be easy to put games into the Aya Neo from something like a USB stick, or at least that's what I like to think. Personally, I don't have any hands-on experience because I am not a big enough channel where I would be provided with one to test out. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So based on the videos that I watch, I think the easiest would be the Aya Neo, then the OneXplayer, and then the Steam Deck. Because this is all theory. I have seen a situation where someone installed a game from a USB stick or a micro SD into a Steam Deck. Like I have not. Before the keyboard warriors tear me to shreds, I said install it into the Steam Deck, not play off of it. So I want to install games into the device, into the Steam Deck, instead of just downright playing games off the SD card or thumb drive. Although that would be a really cool idea, but I guess for less demanding games it wouldn't be that bad. Anyways, the biggest concern for me, and if it's either can't do it or it would be too difficult to actually put games in there, then I might have to pass on the Steam Deck. The second biggest concern is the size. I mean, if the Steam Deck is pocketable, then you gotta have really big pockets for it. When I meet people, most of the time I think I'm really happy to see them, or for the most part they would be right since they are my friends and family, but things might get a little bit awkward. Anyways, if I were to get the Steam Deck, I'm pretty sure I would commit to getting one of those man bags because I don't think I have any clothes that's big enough pockets for the Steam Deck. Or I could be one of those guys that just carry the Steam Deck everywhere I go. In case if somebody try to rob me, I can knock them out with the Steam Deck and lose about $600 at the same time, which is pretty sweet. Either way, it won't be as pocketable as something like the Aya Neo Next, but the Aya Neo Next isn't a pocket-friendly device to begin with, so in terms of portability of the device, I would say it might be a stretch at this time, but I'm sure in the future they'll work on the size of the device to make something a little bit more pocket-friendly and more powerful. Do you guys remember the Sega Nomad? I mean, at the time, that thing was awesome because it's basically a portable Sega Genesis. Well, let's use the term portable loosely because when you put a cartridge on that thing, that's a chunky boy. That, and it eats up 6 AA batteries, which leads on to the next concern, battery life. For the Steam Deck, it's stated a battery life of 2 to 8 hours, which I think makes sense. But if you're playing on AAA games during your time with the Steam Deck, then you're probably getting closer to the 2 hours than the 8 hours. But honestly, this is fine because I honestly think this is the master plan for the Steam Deck because the future devices will have these things work. I'm pretty sure my next generation gaming PC will not be a desktop, considering the way things are heading right now. Because of the idea of carrying around a pocket PC that I can bring home and dock is such an awesome idea that I don't mind waiting until they get it right. Like when the first folding phone came out, I thought that was a cool idea, but the compromises were too much. Then the Fold 2 came out and it fixed a lot of the problems, but it wasn't just the right device yet. And then the Fold 3 came out, and I believe it's just the right device where it's basically a Fold 2.5 with just the right amount of improvements to make the phone a livable device, at least in my opinion, so I pulled the trigger on it. I think most likely I would do the same for the Steam Deck. I think the first device is great. I understand why people are lining up to get one. Personally, I want to see the Steam Deck 3 and how that turns out, and who knows, I might just get it. As for the Aya Neo Next, I like the idea, but the price to performance is just not the best, and how quickly they turn on their products is too scary for me. Like, I think the timeline for the Aya Neo, the Aya Neo Pro, and the Aya Neo Next is within the same year. This is a $1,000+ device that you have it turn as quickly as it is kind of scary. Hopefully they keep the older devices supported. Then again, by the time this video is posted, people are already talking about the Fold 4. So I guess at the end of the day, technology will be very fast, and if you want to get a certain device, wait until they make a newer version of that device to get the device that you actually wanted for a much cheaper price. I know I didn't talk much about the OneXplayer because honestly, I don't think there is much to talk about because it kind of follows the shadow of the Aya Neo, unless I'm wrong. And if I am, there's a comment section down below to correct me. Anyways, links are below for the mentioned devices if I can find them. If you're planning on getting those devices and you want to support me at the same time with no extra cost to you, click on the links. If you're new to the channel, then click subscribe, the bell, thumbs up for more content. Also, if you want to support me directly, I have a link for locals down below as well. You guys stay awesome.